Hey guys, this video is going to be on the 6 stages of my spiritual awakening. My experience. So everybody that has a spiritual awakening, had one, might experience it a little different. So I jotted down notes on how I went through it. These notes I did a while back. So when we were on lockdown during COVID is when I went through mine. It was amazing, and then it wasn't so amazing. So I'm gonna basically start off with the beginning. The beginning I call the wake up stage. So it was chaos. Boy, it was a chaos. I think, so that's the order it was like for me. It just, everything just was falling apart for me. COVID happened. I got COVID. Where I was working was shut down. I mean, everybody else was shut down. I had some health problems because of COVID, and just nothing was going right. And my ego just lost its grip on God, you know? So then I started becoming very spontaneous, right? So all right, so then there's something called the matrix. That's like when you're asleep, right? I'm gonna make a lot of videos about this on your spiritual awakening. So stage 2, you enter like your bliss stage. When you're in bliss. Bliss is when you come alive. You feel, this is how I brought it down, is you feel connected with God, with Source, also known as the divine. Birds, flowers, people, you're excited, your joy, your heart is awakened, compassion, connection. One is with all things. You don't want to leave this stage. Like, I was like dancing all over my apartment. My daughter was living with me at the time when I first moved into my own apartment. And I was changing the sheets on my bed one day, and she was on the phone with her girlfriend FaceTiming, and she's like, "Mom, why are you so happy?" She was looking at me funny. I think she thought I was like on drugs again, because like I was on ecstasy without the ecstasy, because that's how I felt. I literally felt like I was tripping on ecstasy, because that's what I used to do. That was like my thing. But I wasn't, obviously, because it just felt like that. I was like, what am I going through? Like, it was so amazing. It was like my heart was awakened, because I can't explain it unless you go through this awakening. Again, I healed all my inner child wounds, and again, that's another video. I love this. And it took me years. So I'm gonna get into all that. So that's the bliss stage, and again, it does not last long. I think it lasted a week, maybe. But yeah, going back into the bliss stage, I can't stop thinking about it. Like, I would sit on my balcony and just looking at the birds and listening to them. It would sound like, they would even sound better. The air sounded better. Everything sounded better. Music, oh my God, music. Now, I love music. Music is great therapy, but I would just play the music more often. the sound of the music to my ears just sounded just more alive. Nothing would have made me sad in that bliss stage. All right, let me get off that because I guess it was great. So as your heart awakens, you start to feel deeply intuitive. So yeah, my intuition was so on point. The intuition I had on people, I read people very well. I just knew. You know, yeah, you have that good gut instinct. You know, you're just very intuitive. Intuition was great. So, you see, you're being guided the first time in your life. You just like discover your gifts. You discover your gifts finally in your life after so many years of me being alive on this earth. You know, going off topic just a tiny little bit. You can be in so many relationships, right? That bubble phase, that's the twin flame phase, like my video about twin flames, like you're in that bubble phase in the beginning. Bliss. I want to talk about my twin flame journey with somebody, but that's another story. They call that like the bubble phase, but you know, real soul, that soul love, you have to love yourself. Love, soul love. So you have to self-care, giving yourself self-care. I don't mean going out and giving yourself a pedicure, which I do all the time. That's self-care. But praying. Who is God to you out there, out in the YouTube audience? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. I wouldn't be sober. So what I'm saying is source, the divine, all of that is why we're all here today. Your soul goes on and goes on and goes on forever. I'm getting off topic. So anyway, discover your gifts. Work on yourself. Then you go into stage 3. Now, stage 3, I wouldn't want to go back to ever again because it was torture. Now, that's called the dark night of the soul. Ego. Some people call it the dark night of the ego, the dark night of the soul. Dark night does not sound pretty, right? Because it wasn't. I cried and I cried. I was like in the fetal position. Again, nobody at work knew. Nobody at work knew. I went to work every day. I have to work. I have to pay my bills. Dark night of the soul. That was horrible. Because I still wasn't healed. I'm sober. I'm not drinking. I'll never pick up a drink or a drug. One day at a time. You can never say never, right? But why was I... Not about my twin flame. That other person. Your twin flame is yourself, by the way. Another video. You look in the mirror, that's you. Your twin flame is is the soul split in half. I'm getting off topic because when I talk about the dark night of the soul and why I was crying so much, because I'm not healing, because it was the dark night of the soul is the purge, right? So you're purging everything that leads to be healed and released, things that are weighing you down and holding you back. This is big. People out there, listen up. Really, think about it. Think about this. Why are you overeating? Why are you getting lip injections and Botox? These girls all over the internet with the Botox. Like, I have none. I love myself today. Do I maybe need it? Listen, I'm all for plastic surgery. I have implants. If I won the lottery, I would get some stuff done. But some girl, the reason I'm saying that is because I grew up being obsessed with my looks, and Pamela Anderson, obsessed. When I was 25, you had to see what I looked like. My nails were up to here. I did get lip injections. I had hair extensions. Because why was I doing all that? Why was I doing all of that? This video's, I'm being real because I'm trying to explain. I came from a family of divorced parents. My dad, this is the real deal. My dad my dad wasn't really home. He was an alcoholic father. My dad and I we talked today, but the deal is, I really didn't have a father growing up. That's the facts. Like, he wasn't really home. And, I jumped from boyfriend to boyfriend, and that's gonna be in another video, but I kept everything bottled up. And like all right, so The Breakfast Club, perfect example of a movie. Watch that, everybody. So The Breakfast Club, they all wanted to be like, they had the nerd, right? The nerdy kid, the stoner in the movie, it was like a cliquey. That's like my high school era. The cheerleader, the jock. You should go watch that when I finish this video. Fucking best fucking movie. Who didn't love The Breakfast Club? So that was like, I wanted to be popular in high school. It was cliquey. So I'm not really going off the subject because this is all talking about the dark night of the soul. Keeping all that bottled in for years and years and years. Do you get what I mean? Like, comment below if you know what I'm talking about. Like, I finally don't give a fucking shit. I'm funny, I'm pretty, I have a good job, I have a roof over my head, I have my cats, I have my daughter, and I'm fucking sober. And I get up and I go to work every day. I work out every morning, and I think I'm beautiful without all that plastic all over me. Yeah, I have fake boobs. All right, but my point is, nothing today will make me, I don't care what people think, and I don't follow a crowd. All that is purging all that childhood trauma, right? So when you have somebody you latch onto, you trauma bond with somebody, get it? You trauma bond. That's your twin flame, like you trauma bond with them because they have the same, you connect with that person because they have the same trauma bonds as you. So that's the dark night of the soul. That is rough. And you cry. And I sobbed so much. I didn't get out of bed. I just wanted to. I discovered what all this meant on YouTube. The whole 3 months we were on lockdown. That's how I learned all about what this twin flame stuff was. I'm like, oh my God, that's me. Yeah. I hope I'm not missing them, because when I finish this video, I'm like, I hope I'm not missing nothing. I don't know I'm wearing these because. But I want to know if anyone's been through this. I'm dying to know. Anyone that I know. I should share this on Facebook because I don't have many followers on here. Hope someone comes across this. But yeah, it's some serious stuff. So the dark night of the soul is when you really purge everything to the surface. You know, I was molested when I was a child. Not a child, like teenage years. And, you know, that's why I always needed validation and needed a boyfriend in my life. Went from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend. Now I'm alone. I don't need a man. Like, I would like a boyfriend, but I'm content. So anyway, so I'm gonna say after that, so that was after the dark night of the soul, then you go into like the void. I kind of say it's like the void. Your life stops pretty much, and then you're between your old life and your new life, where you just kind of rest, kind of like stepping into your power, right? I don't know if I could say I'm there. I'm out of the dark night of the soul, right? So, and then stage 5 is like your grounding. You're mature, you're fulfilled, you're knowing, your energy becomes more powerful, then you can manifest, you know? So that's like the 6 stages. That was stage 6. But that's pretty much all of them. You know, when you love yourself. Self-love's another whole topic, but I'm going to end it there because I don't want to go into all that now because I'm at 17 minutes. But it's not, when you have your spiritual awakening, because and I knew it when I Googled and I saw the signs, and when I was like, wow, something else really. But music, put on music, light a candle, take bubble baths. Men, you go to the gym. Men are spiritual, you know, and it doesn't matter what age you are, because listen, you guys, listen, if you're young and you're in your 20s, life goes fast. So anyway, like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends. And I'm going to end it, and I'll see you guys soon. I hope I made sense of all this. I'm going to talk about it some more. Have a good night.